Brought to you by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, championship partner of Baylor Athletics. Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance online to find a local agent today. Baylor Scott and White Health, the official hospital and healthcare system of Baylor Athletics. Your healthcare, your way.
Hey.
HEB, the official grocer of Baylor Athletics.
Oh, J-Mo made it. Hey.
Serving Texans since
Levels look good, so we're ready.
FNB, your bank for life. The official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Premier, ER, and urgent care. Feel better now.
Hang is here.
Nissan, innovation that excites.
Got the first down.
Anybody that would be here is probably in the parade.
Yeah.
Get ready. For all the pregame action. Starting right now.
Happy homecoming, Baylor Nation, and welcome to the Baylor Alumni Network Tailgate Show, coming to you from Touchdown Alley. It is Baylor and UCF in the homecoming game today. The Bears looking to snap a 2-game losing streak and move a game closer towards bowl eligibility against the Knights of UCF. Good morning, and thanks so much for joining us from Touchdown Alley alongside the voice of the Bears, John Morris, fresh in from the parade, and Baylor legend Seth Russell. I'm Derek Smith, and John, that's a picture of homecoming right there. The parade rushing over for football, and we're glad you made it, and it's good to have everyone here for a big game today.
Thank you. And everybody that is not here right now, they are probably at the parade.
Yes.
So when that concludes, there'll be a mad rush over here.
Absolutely.
And hopefully a good crowd, which we need. And happy homecoming to you guys.
Yeah,
also.
happy homecoming. Glad to be out here.
Fun.
It's finally feeling like football weather.
That is for sure.
Which is really encouraging. Hopefully, that gives a little spark and excitement to everybody that'll be joining us today.
Well, it is November.
Yes.
So it should feel a little bit different,
you
right?
know Texas, it's bipolar, so
It is.
you never know what you're going to get.
Hey, by the way, Seth, we got to paint this picture. It wasn't quite the Baylor football team arriving with a police escort, but John Morris's triumphant arrival to Touchdown Alley in a
golf
cart.
cart.
He had an
Come on.
entourage.
It was a
impressive.
6-wheeled stretched golf cart that he got
It
pulled
was a
up
golf
on.
cart.
Little
It was
American
just a golf
flag
cart.
on the Baylor flag. It was good.
I think there was some security around him as well while he was driving
You
in.
forgot
so.
the Sailor Bear balloon that was
Yes,
flying over.
that
Yes.
one too.
Yeah, that too.
Yep.
Yeah, speaking of Sailor Bear, you've got him on. Got him on your jacket. I got him on my shirt hidden right now. But
Perfect.
Little Sailor Bear magic. Maybe the Bears could use that today. It's been a tough couple of games. They've fallen behind early, and we'll talk more about that as the program goes on. But for the Bears, something special about homecoming. It doesn't necessarily always translate, meaning we're going to win on the field. But I think the team's been putting in a lot of work to get this done. They're seeing something special about homecoming and even the Sailor Bear helmets to an extent, and just a lot of things playing into. Hopefully the Bears come out strong today because they finished strong. They want to start strong today.
Right. Boy, that'd be great, wouldn't it, to get off to a fast start?
For once.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Would be really nice, and it's just nice to be home, too. I mean, those last 2 weeks, it was homecoming at TCU 2 weeks ago. It was homecoming at Cincinnati last week. So now we got the homecoming on our side, and this is a big game. I mean, you could say that. I think we do say that every week, but this is a really big game today for the Bears.
Yeah, if there's any chance to make a bowl game, just kind of based off of the whole environment of what we've seen with Baylor football this year, this has to be a win.
Yeah.
Because the next 3 games are not going to be easy.
Right.
They're all ranked right now. So this is going to be a critical point, a turning point, hopefully in our program, into Baylor's program, into finishing out the season with hopefully 4 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't want to belabor the point too much, but I think when you look at this team, the way the season has progressed, if you could just get off to a fast start, I think there's a couple more wins in the roster, but they haven't, and that's not the case. And so right now the record is 4-4. Seth, I'm curious. When you hear the coaches and players talk, you can see the frustration. They're working at it to get off to a good start. Have you been in those situations as a player where, boy, you just keep working at something, it doesn't happen, but you finally break through? Is it something different? Is it you just finally something goes your way and it builds? What's that look like?
Yeah, I think it's just more of self-reflection, right? Just, hey, what have we done that hasn't been successful, right? Whether that's from a mentality standpoint, whether that's a scheme standpoint, whether that's an emotional transition standpoint. Hey, are we watching enough film? Maybe we change up a little bit, right? Make a little bit of a shift somewhere. Hey, maybe call some of your former players that you played with, maybe some guys that you still have in contact with in the NFL. Like, hey, what are y'all doing different? right? What can we do better on our end? Because you're always trying to find that edge, right? What's that? Where can we create that difference that either it's on film, we can play faster, and then maybe we're just overthinking it, right? You're just overthinking it. I think on the offensive side, whenever I was playing, I mean, obviously putting 50, 60, 70 points, on the board was normal. I mean, now it's kind of that's what they want to get to, but I feel like the offense, we will probably get into this a little bit later, but just from my standpoint is, hey, simplify it, right? Let's make it easy, make it simple, maybe make a few twists or changes kind of internally within, my own personal self. I know with Sawyer and a lot of the leaders, after the TCU game, right, it was coaches like, hey, y'all go and do a big team meeting, right? Talk, speak out, like share what you're feeling, what's kind of the emotion, where can we get better at? And I think that the leaders are doing a great job. Now we just kind of have to have everybody fall in and really just kind of believe that, we can turn this program around.
And you look, it might be one of those things as simple as you score a touchdown on the first drive, everyone relaxes, and you hope that's the case. But looking forward to a good crowd and hopefully a fast start for the Bears today. We got a great homecoming show, guys. We're going to talk a little bit later to Alan Lefevre, the author of The History of Baylor Sports and a Baylor homecoming expert about Baylor homecoming history. We're going to visit with some Baylor legends from the 1985 honor team, Cody Carlson, Thomas Everett, a little bit later on as well. Seth and I'll delve into the X's and O's of today's homecoming game, but we're going to talk Baylor alumni next. Baylor alumni has been putting together a lot of great things for homecoming. John, I was a little hurt. Paul Thorpe and Tessa Jamerson were practically, almost rock, paper, scissors to see who had to do the interview. I'm like, we're nice. Yes, we're nice people. We're fun to talk to, right?
Oh, we are.
So we're going to get them up here. We'll see who comes to join us in just a minute. It'll be fun. Baylor Alumni Network Tailgate Show presented by Baylor Alumni, bringing the Baylor family together. We'll talk Baylor Alumni and more, so get you ready for the homecoming game against UCF right after this here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Come see why Green Eye Associates is voted best in Waco year after year. Enjoy exceptional service and care from Dr. Leanne Green alongside her dedicated optometrist and staff. Receive trustworthy insights on your eye health. Enjoy the impressive variety of contacts and eyewear and work with the most experienced optical team in Waco. Don't miss the new state-of-the-art dry eye therapies that rejuvenate the eyes and face with safe, non-invasive treatments to restore comfort and quality of life. Green Eye Associates, official optometrist of Baylor Athletics.
At H-E-B, we know that game day is about more than the game itself. The taste of victory is unparalleled, but so is the taste of H-E-B jalapeno poppers hot off the grill. Seeing the best players in their prime is truly something to behold. So is an H-E-B Prime 1 burger that you grilled to perfection. For low prices on all the things that make game day great and delicious, visit H-E-B, your official game day headquarters, or use the My H-E-B app to start prepping for game day right away.
Do you ever scream at your screen when your 5G internet freezes? It's the worst. So why not switch to Astound? Wi-Fi that just works. With Astound Wi-Fi, you'll rage less, buffer less, and live more. Lock in gig speed Wi-Fi for just $35 a month, guaranteed for 3 years. Plus, get up to a $200 Amazon gift card. Astound Wi-Fi, it just works. Visit astound.com today.
Baylor Nation rolls along with Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Start with award-winning service and factory-trained techs. Then shop our new and used lineup from cars, trucks to SUVs, all makes and models. Running a business? We're your Central Texas headquarters for ProMaster vans, cab, and chassis and work trucks. For power and comfort, test drive the Ram 1500, the Motor Trend Truck of the Year winner again. Allen Samuels in Waco, proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
Come by. Let's be friends.
You're listening to Baylor Football, on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
It is homecoming Saturday. Baylor and UCF coming up today at 11 o'clock at McLean Stadium as we welcome you back into the Baylor Alumni Network Tailgate Show alongside the voice of the Bears, John Morris. I'm Derek Smith. Seth Russell is here. Our producer is Aaron Sexton, and we are joined by Paul Thorpe from the Baylor Alumni Network.
Now, here's the question. Did you win rock, paper, scissors to be up here with us?
Absolutely.
Or did you lose
I wanted
to be up here?
I won it.
Okay,
you won.
good.
Okay, good.
Actually,
we like
I
that
lost,
approach.
but I told her she can't do it anyway.
Yeah, well, hey, we're glad to have you here, Paul. And appreciative of all you and Tessa and Doug and really the whole crew at Baylor Alumni. We're appreciative of all you do here on home game days. And really far beyond, as we can talk about. But let's just start off with Homecoming 2025. What's that been like for y'all? Where all have you been able to interact with the Baylor family?
Right, it's been a busy week starting, I guess, Thursday a little bit, but mainly yesterday. We had 3 classes we recognized, 50 years, 40 years, and 10 years. So that would have been, 75, class of 75, class of 85, and a class of 15.
Nice.
And so I'm sure they're all at the parade right now. We're supposed to be over here at the Alumni Tailgate to get some breakfast and go.
They're on their way.
Yeah,
they're on their way.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Hey, I'm class of 2005, so 20 years. I'm got me feeling a little older. Yeah, that's
it's coming.
It'll be here for me before you know it for sure as we visit with Paul Thorpe.
That's great. And tell everybody, just in general, some of the services and the events that y'all organize and present.
Right. So for homecoming, actually, we did the Golden Grad lunch. We had a homecoming at the Herd last night before the bonfire, and then outside of Waco, we take our head coaches on the road to our major cities here. Football, men's and women's basketball, and baseball. So we'll be taking Mitch Thompson, head baseball coach, out here in late January, February. So be on the lookout for that.
Those are great events, too. I think, John, I'd encourage if people have never been to hear Coach Aranda or Coach Drew and Coach Nicky for basketball, Coach Thompson for baseball, the great events that they put on. Really, even when it's a big room, it feels kind of intimate. It's just a conversation where you really get to hear from the head coach about what they're thinking. And, I know there's a lot of work that goes on in the background that most of us don't know about, Paul, that you put on. So thank you for that. And, I mean, those are always fun events in my mind.
They are. They're great attended. It's great to take the coaches out to our Baylor people out in Texas, and a lot of people don't get to come back, so we take them to them, and they really enjoy it.
Another event y'all produce and put on is the Lunch with a Legend. We've got one of those coming up with Jim Turner on November 13th.
I believe so. Yeah, 13th. Yeah. We're looking forward to that. Jim's been a mogul. I guess you can call him a mogul here for Baylor University, and we're going to honor him with a lunch at Texas Sports Hall of Fame. So. Come see him on the 13th.
People who know him from way back, like when he was in school, he's Jimmy Turner. So you can tell how long somebody has known him by whether they refer to him as Jimmy Turner or Mr. Jim Turner.
Yeah.
A little inside joke, but Jimmy Turner, the living legend.
Yes, okay. That's right.
A little backstory: we were in conversation with his secretary, and she got the title of the event wrong. She called it the Living Legends instead of Lunch with the Legends. So we might change that. Might be Living Legends.
We shoot for Living Legends. That's kind of been our goal. So we want to continue.
If you ever break past that would really be something.
True.
We'll move on from that. But, no, those are always great events. And, Paul, I got to ask you, you guys have a unique chance to interact with the Baylor family. And it's, I know y'all are busy. I mean, you've got a lot of work on those days. But what do you enjoy most about whether it's sports fans or just the alumni base in general that you enjoy connecting, putting on programs for, and interacting with?
I think the biggest thing for me is hearing everybody's story. Everybody has a unique story about their time here at Baylor or an event that happened at Baylor, a different perception or a different view of the same event that I was at, that they're like, oh, I didn't know that happened. That's awesome. So, getting to hear those stories and just people's enthusiasm about Baylor and their love for Baylor is the biggest thing for me.
Yeah. And speaking of alums, and there's a bunch that are here, there's Colin Allred, who is here, former Baylor football player. Great to have him here. So he was in the parade, and when his unit came by, he was jogging in the parade, the part I saw. The question is, did you jog the whole way? There's no way. There's no way you did that. But the part right in the middle of campus where we were set up streaming, he was jogging through that part. So pretty impressive.
Just warming up,
Yeah, warming up.
Yeah.
Great to have you here, Colin. Yeah.
That's my generation.
Yeah,
Baylor, when I got here.
That's good.
Fun times watching those teams at Floyd Casey Stadium. Hey, before we let you go, I want to take a sharp pivot here.
Okay.
So not everyone knows Paul played baseball here at Baylor, drafted by the New York Yankees, spent time in that organization. So, A, that's a pretty cool tidbit. But, B, I got to ask you, Paul, I know we were all kind of running around. I didn't see it live, but I saw the end of that Game 6 last night between the Dodgers and Blue Jays. Baylor alumni Max Muncy, he's got a Game 7 tonight trying to get his 3rd World Series ring. That's pretty special to see a Baylor alum have an opportunity to reach the top of his sport again.
It really is. I mean, you know, as you get to college and then beyond, you know, it's like the cone gets smaller. There's fewer people, and for him to accomplish what he's accomplished and to be where he is amazing, and it makes it that much more special that he's from Baylor.
And it's cool, too, whether it's Colin or Seth Russell, Colin Allred or Seth Russell, they're both here right now. One thing that stands out about Max Muncy, too, no matter how big he's got, he's always ready to serve Baylor in some way.
Which is great.
He is. Yep. Yeah,
and
he and Mitch are really close, and he comes back quite a bit. So good ambassador for Baylor.
Very cool. So
who do you have tonight?
I'm pulling for the Dodgers because of Max.
Same.
Yep. That's the reason. So
yep.
Absolutely.
That'll be fun. Game 7. And I was going to add, I saw David Murphy on campus.
Oh,
David's
wow,
got
really?
a son here at Baylor, so he's a Baylor dad now. That's pretty cool.
Wild.
But I got to see him earlier today, too.
We got baseball. We got football.
Yeah.
It's great to have the Baylor family, Baylor Nation, back here on campus for this weekend's homecoming game. Well, speaking of homecoming, Baylor's got the first. Baylor's got the best. And we're going to learn more about that with Alan Lefevre when we come back. This is the Baylor Alumni Tailgate Show from Touchdown Alley on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
When life gets complicated, Butts Law Firm is your one stop for a wide range of legal needs. Whether you need estate planning documents such as a will, trust, or guardianship, or the appointment of a receiver to handle personal or business assets management and disposal, consumer protection, family-related legal matters, or various business-related issues, we are your community firm. Whether you're planning for the future, navigating a probate, or managing a business, our experienced team is ready to guide you every step of the way. Trust us to provide the legal support you need. Call today, 406-641-BUTZ. That's 406-641-2889. Or come by the Waxahachie office at 301 South Rogers Street, Suite 202, downtown Waxahachie. Come see the difference having a trusted attorney by your side can make, because at Butts Law Firm, your legal rights are our business.
Baylor alumni are more than 160,000 strong. When we all join hands to support our university, we don't just move the needle, we move mountains. Working together, we create life-changing opportunities for students on the field, in the classroom, in the laboratory, and in life for generations to come. So get connected. Get involved. Learn how at baylor.edu/alumni.
If you're stuck in a high auto loan rate, it's time to call an Audible.
Hi, I'm Joe Betsy Tyler with First Central. When it comes to your auto loan, you don't have to stay in a bad formation. Call the right play. Refinance with First Central and get a lower rate, fast approvals, and a team that knows how to win local.
Visit firstcentralcu.com and apply today.
First Central Credit Union. Everything we do for you.
Membership and loan policy requirements apply. Member NCUA.
You're listening to Baylor Football on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Baylor homecoming is here. On the gridiron, it's Baylor and UCF today. Away from McLean Stadium, we've had the parade this morning, the pep rally and bonfire last night. John Morris putting in even more work than normal this weekend. Always fun to connect the Baylor family to that. And John does such a great job. And we've got a lot of great people to talk to on this show, and, John, maybe no one better to talk homecoming with than Alan Lefevre, Baylor Truett professor, Baptist historian, and the author of The History of Baylor Sports.
Perfect.
To take us inside Baylor's legendary homecoming.
Nobody better.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
Yes.
Welcome to you. Glad you're here. So let's do this right off the top. No question, nobody can argue Baylor has the oldest homecoming of any school in the country.
Oh, people will argue.
Well,
you know,
true.
I mean,
like one school in particular.
Yeah, Southwestern in Georgetown, Missouri.
Yeah.
You know, they like to point out they do this, they do that. But the fact of the matter is, no one did the classic homecoming, the bonfire, the parade, the football game until we did it in 1909.
Okay, 1909.
And that is recognized. No one can dispute that. And so, yeah, and to this day, the other thing about that is no one can dispute it today that no one does it like we do. You know,
that's true.
Missouri doesn't do it like we do. Southwest, all these schools that want to claim, you know, something to the history. The fact is that from the first time we did it until today, no one does homecoming like Baylor University.
And Alan, if there are any skeptics out there, if they're thinking, oh, you know, well, these guys are Baylor guys, who else has weighed in on this?
Well, the big thing is, I mean, Baylor, we enjoy pointing this out. When the Smithsonian Institution says that you are the first collegiate homecoming, we kind of hang our hat on that stamp of approval.
That's pretty good endorsement.
That's right.
Yeah. What do you think it is? You're a Baylor guy through and through. What do you think it is that makes homecoming as special as it is here and has for so many years, when at other schools it's just kind of gone by the wayside?
You know, we didn't call ourselves the Baylor family until, you know, recently. But the fact of the matter is, I think when S.P. Brooks came up with this idea, he invoked the family in 1909. And as I was pointing out yesterday, you know, I mean, that first homecoming, we had people who had been an independent when Baylor was there for 41 years. Baylor was only in Waco 23 years when we had our first homecoming. And so I think that tie that binded us all together in 1909, that spirit is what has been the foundation of what is today. It's amazing to me that you can walk, you know, when I walked the parade route this morning and you see generations of people sharing that common bond of the Baylor experience. And even when I was in Japan this summer, you know, I had my Baylor shirt on. Somebody came at me, "You go to Baylor?" Absolutely. You know, they went to Baylor. We talked, took pictures, and the people in our tour group looked at Sarah and me and said, "What kind of school did you go to?"
Wow, nice.
You know,
yeah.
And you try to explain it, but you really can't until you walk around this campus during homecoming.
Alan, that first homecoming game, Baylor defeated TCU, Texas Christian University, 6-3. There have been many other great homecoming games over the years. I got a chance to talk to John and Jerry about this yesterday a little bit. What are a couple of homecoming games over the years that stand out? And if he doesn't mention yours, John, we'll have you jump in on that too.
You know, one for me is the one in 1982 when Arkansas came to town ranked 5th in the country, and we were terrible. But there was just something about Baylor and Grant Taft and top 10 teams that came to town, and we fell behind 14-0 and came back and beat them 24-17. I still remember Stockemeyer, you know, diving over the pile for an Arkansas boy, basically scoring the winning touchdown. And it was those kind of games. 92 always sticks out in my head, the Georgia Tech game, because J.J. Joe and Bonner, those unbelievable passes that Joe could throw, and the fakes that he could do as guys were running by him holding on to the football. So those are the games that jump out. But the one I think that is the funniest to me will always be the UT game in 1997.
I
mean, who schedules UT as their homecoming game? Especially when you're terrible.
Right.
You know, we were just terrible. And when we won that game, and those students tore down the goalpost and then tried to figure out how to get out of the stadium. Do you remember watching them try to get it out of the stadium? Yeah. And then they walked it all the way to campus. So those are the games, probably not everybody's games, but those are the games that really stand out in my mind.
Pretty good. A couple others that we mentioned yesterday. Do you remember we beat Kansas one year at homecoming, came from 18 down to win
What's
by
that,
a point?
36-35?
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that was 06, is that right,
06, I believe so.
Yeah. But that was because the game was so great, and Sean Bell and Dominique Ziegler led the Bears back to that win. And then the Arkansas game that you mentioned, I remember that. So the backstory for me on that game was I was not working at Baylor at the time. I was working at KWTX. And this was homecoming, and short version is I didn't work that day. I took a friend to the homecoming game, and I was sick as a dog that I could, not physically, but just sick that I wasn't working and couldn't go in the locker room and get the interviews and do the story on the game. So I hated that. I hated that.
it's stuck
I'd
with
much
you all
rather be
these
working
years.
at homecoming.
Yeah.
But there have been some memorable games. I mean, memorable. And Sailor Bear, what year did Sailor Bear?
2018.
Okay, 18.
And we beat Oklahoma State on a last-second touchdown.
That's right.
Charlie Brewer to Denzel Mims.
Yeah.
And that was the year we needed that to become bowl eligible after winning one game the year before.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I still remember when the team came out in those Sailor Bear helmets, because I am one of those that I just love the interlocking BU on the side of the helmet.
Sure, same.
That's just classic. But, man, when they came out in Sailor Bear, and he wasn't yellow Sailor Bear, he was gold Sailor Bear. I just thought that was so cool.
So what's your the people you talk to and alums and constituents, if you will, Sailor Bear, we use it in moderation. We use it in the right spots, like it'll be on the helmets today. And then the old Growling Bear is back also. There's stuff in the bookstore with that. What's the feel you get from?
Well, the Growling Bear, I'm gonna sound like an old codger here. The Growling Bear, I love the Growling Bear. It's hard to reduplicate because of the detail on it. But the black bear is our mascot, and the growling bear is a grizzly. So it's my inner Clyde Hart here that I say we need to be consistent with our trademark.
Yeah.
But I do love the growling bear always harkens back to '74 for me.
Yeah,
so
it's a good one. It's good memory.
Yep. The logos through the years, it's funny thinking how much it's transitioned. I got here at the end of the Green Bear. The Green Bear. Sure, that's, fair
Which
enough.
is not making a comeback.
That's
soon,
right.
right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's fun. It doesn't harken back to all the best days, but since then it's been awfully good. Well, Alan, so as we wind down quickly, for you, what's the perfect homecoming?
Man, I'll tell you right now, this is almost my perfect homecoming. I want to feel the chill in the air. I want to know that we lit a bonfire that actually provided needed heat and not pain. And then just the spirit I see today. So many. There's a lot of alumni here this weekend. And so we win this game. This is my perfect homecoming.
I like that plan. Let's execute that on every front here. Alan, thank you so much. Thanks for all you do for Baylor, and thanks for sharing a little homecoming memories with us.
All right, good to be with you guys.
Happy homecoming.
Happy homecoming. Alan Lefevre, Baylor professor, historian, author, and homecoming aficionado.
Oh, wait, one other question.
Okay.
So you wrote the history of Baylor sports.
Right.
Is there a second edition
well,
down the road?
Well, I've actually talked to Baylor Press and told them, let me know.
Yeah.
Because I'm ready to write it because Baylor certainly has since 2012.
Yes. We've certainly added a few things.
This could be a case where the sequel lives up to the first.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll put you to work. I like that thought, John. We got to put Alan to even more work.
Yes.
He's already. I don't know if Sarah feels that or not, but we'll look forward to that. Well, Alan Lefevre, our guest here on the Baylor Alumni Tailgate Show. We've got more coming up from Touchdown Alley as we get you ready for Baylor and UCF after this here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Are you tired of slow internet? Are data caps and throttling making it impossible to stream your favorite shows and movies? If so, it sounds like it's time to switch to NextLink Internet. With NextLink, there are no data caps and no throttling, just super fast internet speeds, up to 1 gig over wireless in some areas. Plus, NextLink is an official partner of Baylor Athletics. So don't wait another minute. Give NextLink a call or go online to nextlinkinternet.com to see what special offers are available to you. Blazing fast internet is just a click or phone call away. Sick 'em, Bears.
If you need a trailer, Flat Rock Trailers has got you covered. From light-duty single-axle utility trailers to the Big Tex tandem duals. We also carry a full line of enclosed cargo trailers. Need a motorcycle trailer? We've got them. Need a dump trailer? We've got the largest selection in the state. Oilfield trailers? We carry a full line of Big Tex trailers to handle all your needs. Trailer repairs? We repair all makes and models. We'll even rent you a trailer if you need to use one for a day. Flat Rock Trailers, your #1 source for all your trailer needs. Find us at flatrocktrailers.com.
Premier ER and Urgent Care has all the convenience of urgent care with all the expertise of an ER, all under one roof. At every visit, be seen by ER-trained staff with on-site lab and CT, X-ray, ultrasound, and EKG. Here, you pay for the appropriate level of care that you receive, and we are in-network with most major insurance providers. Premier ER and Urgent Care has 4 convenient locations serving Texas: San Marcos, Temple, Waco, and Woodway. To learn more, visit www.premier.care.
Are you a diehard Bears fan? Sure, your entire closet is Baylor green and gold. All your pets' names have started with Judge, and that good old Baylor line is your ringtone. But do you have an official Baylor University toll tag? That small green and gold sticker reps the Bears and cuts your toll bill in half. Visit getmytolltag.com to purchase your specialty tag and deck your ride with Baylor pride. Small sticker, big savings, sick 'em Bears.
You're listening to Baylor Football on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Back here in Touchdown Alley, it's the Baylor Alumni Tailgate Show alongside Baylor legend Seth Russell. I'm Derek Smith, the voice of the Bears, John Morris, preparing to head up to the radio booth for the call of today's homecoming game. Baylor and UCF, the Bears 4-4 overall, 2-3 in Big 12 play. UCF, they are 4-3, 1-3 in Big 12 action. You know, Seth, I obviously remember a lot of things about your career. There were highs and there were injury-related lows. I asked you about your homecoming memory. I had forgotten just how rough your homecoming memory was. I'd forgotten that it happened on homecoming.
Yeah, so in 2015 when we were ranked number 2 in the country, I mean, we were just putting, average of 70 points a game, on the board, and defense was playing really well. Our special teams was doing really well, and about 5 minutes left in the Iowa State game. We were up, I think, a couple of touchdowns, and just trying to push the ball down the field. And I still remember it pretty vividly. We were on the opposing 30-yard line, or around the 30-yard line. It was 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, something like that, and basically just ran like kind of a normal zone, a zone option where basically I'm reading that outside defensive end. He crashes down. I mean, it's just wide open grass. I just have to make either run over the safety or make the safety miss, and I walk in the end zone. And me being a knucklehead at the time and, feeling like invincible, we were moving and grooving, and decided to put my head down and try to get some tough yards, which thinking back, that was silly of me. Should have just handed the ball off. But, end up, getting tackled and having a little fracture in my neck and into my season for that year.
I guess not all homecoming memories are perfect. I obviously remember that very well, and just the feeling in the stadium. I'd forgotten that was on homecoming.
Well, hey, we won the game.
We
That's
won the
what
game.
matters.
That's right.
That's all that matters.
That's right. That team was very, very talented, and you were such a huge part of that. You look, Seth, moving to this year right now, you've got a Baylor team that been up and down. It's been, I think, inconsistent is really the word, from quarter to quarter, from game to game, and inconsistent can mean there's some really good stretches. I think that SMU game, I think a lot of second halves this year have been really good, but for the Bears trying to find that consistency, today's what they focus on. And let's talk about the matchup a little bit, because what's interesting is it's strength against strength. You've got Baylor, who has the top passing offense in the Big 12. Sawyer Robertson, the most passing yards in the nation, against UCF, who has the best pass defense. So when the immovable object and the unstoppable force, if you will, go up against each other, where can Baylor try to exploit that against a good UCF defense?
Yeah, well, I think UCF is not going to have faced a team like Baylor with the type of threats that they have at wide receiver, right? I mean, most teams will have maybe – for sure one, maybe a second go-to guy that they can really rely on, that you can kind of bracket the number one guy and then maybe play some kind of zone shift type of on the number 2. But Baylor has a extremely deep receiving core, right? I mean, you got Trigg, you got Cameron, you got Hawkins, you got Prentice. I mean, you got all these guys that you have to take them into account, or they're going to make you look silly. And so but hey, give credit to UCF. I mean, obviously their defensive backs are pretty highly rated. The coaching staff there has done a great job of putting them in a good position. I know last year, just kind of looking back at statistically what their defense did last year, it is a complete 180 of what they've did last year into this year on the defensive side, which I think they've done a great job there. But all around, with Sawyer, being in the backfield, you want the ball in his hands, right? You want him to make the good decisions. I think, listen to his press conference this week, talking about last week, hey, what are some things they can do better? I really think with the way our defense has been really spotty, Sawyer, I think, hit it on the head where it was they haven't put all 3 phases of the game together cohesively, right? Whether it's like the defense is playing really well and then the offense is just completely off for a couple series. And then it flips. It's like, hey, offense is killing it and the defense, takes a couple steps back. And then, some hiccups on special teams, or we do a great job on special teams and there's a penalty to bring it back. It's just, I feel like that's just kind of how the season has gone thus far. And you hope that it doesn't turn into this is what the season is going to be remembered as just they never got on the same page, right?
Yeah.
And then where does that all tailor back to? I mean, there's a plethora of things you could talk about, but, it's really just, hey, making good decisions, doing what you can, simplifying it, not making it too difficult. Because I think, as a quarterback, you get to the second half season, you're not what it's not doing what you anticipate to. And I'll go back to 2016 whenever I was playing, right? We got up, we won our first 6 games, and then we kind of had a losing streak, especially against Oklahoma, for example, whenever I broke my ankle against Oklahoma. I mean, we were pathetic the first half, right? I mean, I think I had like 1 or 2 interceptions. We were dropping the ball. We weren't running into and you start to press as a quarterback, right? You start to press because like, we need to do something different. And that's what I don't want Sawyer to feel like he has to do, right? Just keep sticking to the offense, sticking to what they know best. It's going to work, right? It's just keep believing in the guys around him. Don't feel like you have to do too much, and just make the easy plays. Don't try to overthink it. Make the simple plays. Move the ball down the field. You're going to score points. This offense is designed to score points, right? Whether that's, obviously you want 6, but hey, worst case we have a really good kicker.
Yes.
Just get inside the 50 and you got a chance, right, to put points on the board. And so, but all around, I think these guys, they have the right mentality. It's just we got to put all phases of the game together. And I think today is, I won't say it's a last day to do it, but they have to start doing it today to even have a chance.
Kind of remember November, and this sets the tone for the rest of the month as we visit with Seth Russell. We're going to be back with Seth in just a minute to talk more X's and O's. Today's game, by the way, brought to you by H-E-B, the official grocer of Baylor Athletics. H-E-B, here everything is better. We're in Touchdown Alley. Come on out and see us. You're making your way back from the parade, getting ready for the game. It is Baylor and UCF at 11 o'clock this morning here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
The Toyota Trucks Game Day sales event is on, and there's no one key to victory. You need strength. You need power. You need agility. You need a team that shows up ready to win. And Toyota Trucks, yeah, they bring the full roster. The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are built for it all. With available bed-mounted power outlets, massive towing capability, and a cabin fit for your crew, Toyota Tundra and Tacoma don't just show up to game day, they dominate it. Kick off the season with big savings during the Toyota Trucks Game Day sales event. But hurry, these deals won't last forever.
Toyota is a proud partner of Baylor Athletics. Wear green, haul gold in a new Tundra or Tacoma. Built to take you wherever the road leads, on game day and beyond. Visit your local Toyota dealer today.
Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at toyota.com for feature availability.
Do you ever scream at your screen when your 5G internet freezes? It's the worst. So why not switch to Astound? Wi-Fi that just works. With Astound Wi-Fi, you'll rage less, buffer less, and live more. Lock in gig speed Wi-Fi for just $35 a month, guaranteed for 3 years. Plus, get up to a $200 Amazon gift card. Astound Wi-Fi, it just works. Visit astound.com today.
Looking to connect with Baylor alums in your area? Baylor Alumni can help. Looking to host a watch party in your city? Baylor Alumni can get you started. Want to step out in your community and serve with other alums? Baylor Alumni is your connection with the university and each other. Let's get started. Learn how at baylor.edu/alumni.
You're listening to Baylor Football on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
It is homecoming Saturday on the Baylor campus. Fans making their way to Touchdown Alley. Game time about an hour and a half from now. As we get you ready for Baylor and UCF, Derek Smith, Seth Russell here at Touchdown Alley, the Baylor Alumni Tailgate Show, as we continue to visit on today's game. Brought to you by H-E-B. Seth, we were talking about Sawyer Robertson and getting the offense going. I want to ask you, How important has it been for the Bears? I know they haven't won the last couple of games, but if he can continue to build on this, we've seen freshman running back Michael Turner start to emerge. You know, Bryson Washington had such a fantastic start to the year, but most of the running load was on his shoulders. He's been banged up. Got Michael Turner, who flirted with 100 yards last week against a very good Cincinnati defense. His emergence, how important is that for Sawyer? How important is that for the team to have someone who's a real threat behind line of scrimmage there?
Yeah, you know, I think our running game hasn't been bad, right? It's been pretty average, you know, even maybe a little above average. Like we have a good rushing game. It's just not as explosive as we hope it would be, right? It's very it's very hard rush. Like, you know, I mean, you know, yards at the line of scrimmage. I mean, yards after contact that they're really getting. But you know, obviously having a healthy backfield is really important. These offensive linemen, they're really good offensive linemen. They're doing a great job up front. They're opening holes, right? The one thing you kind of run into, I mean, and you can even argue with, you know, with Bryson last year. I mean, he came in super healthy, right? I mean, he was able to pound the rock, and now he's kind of been hurt, you know, every single game this year, either playing the first half and maybe coming out just based off of XYZ scenarios. But you know, obviously having those young guys in the backfield, they're young, they're healthy, they're sprite, right? They want to make an impact, they want to earn a spot, and that's what you want, right? You want motivation, you want some guys that are really wanting to kind of take that step forward, you know, in the program, make a name for themselves, be able to, you know, hey, if they get their number called, right, it's they're going to take that step and they're going to run the right direction. And so really just making sure that, hey, as these guys are getting their opportunities, right, not making young mistakes, right? I know a few games ago, one of the guys,
Caden Knighton,
ran 15 yards backwards. You're like, okay, I get it. It's not high school. You're not going to be able to hit the edge, you know, like you used to. And I think they're learning that, right? They're learning, you know, from each other. They're feeding off each other. This is, you know, with Pendergrass going down, you know, before the season, obviously put a big hit on the backfield, which allowed those guys to really step in, say, hey, who's going to be this next guy that can make that impact? You know, Bryson, obviously probably felt like he put a lot of pressure on his shoulders to be that kind of ground and pound type of guy. But, you know, I think that the running back, you know, room, I think, is really coming together, figuring out, hey, whose strengths and weaknesses, and just make a positive impact and just get north and south and get some good yardage to keep the chains moving.
You know, I think Caden Knighton's going to get there, but you look at what Turner's done these last two games, 150 yards in the two games, averaging about 6 yards per carry. That's been big for the Bears. You know, you look defensively, Seth, I think a lot of the hallmarks that you want to see have been elusive for the Bears, getting pressure on the quarterback, forcing turnovers. And you can also look and say, this defense has had a ton of injuries. Devin Turner at safety before the year. Carl Williams really hasn't been able to play very much. Travion Barnes, a pass rusher. So on one hand, that's, Jackson. You know, you look, that is a real factor. By the same point, no one's going to feel sorry for you. It is next man up. Is there low-hanging fruit for the Bears? I mean, there's a part of me that thinks, man, I'd just love to see someone on the defense step up the way Turner has the last couple of games, a spark somewhere.
Thornton.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude he reminds me a lot of Xavier Howard.
Yeah, that's high praise.
About 6'2", 6'3", really lanky. I mean, long. I mean, you're not going to get an easy catch up. I mean, he's 6'3", I think. You know, he's about 190, 200. So I mean, he is a big body out there that has really stepped up, I think, these last couple of games. I mean, they put him on the number one receiver on, you know, these past 3 games, right? And he's really done well. One's, you know, best on best. I mean, you're going to get some good plays. You're going to get some, you know, where the offense is going to get some good plays on, right? I think he's done a great job. Obviously, Keaton Thomas. I mean, I think he's filling 2 shoes right now. You know, going into the season, you know, he's the middle backer. You got the kind of the couple of guys that got injured, but you know, but I mean, really where I want to see some massive improvement and just impact is just those front 3, front 4 guys, right? Those defensive linemen, the nose tackle, the defensive ends, those guys that just you know, continue to make the quarterback just not sit back there and look pretty, right? You know, and I think they're trying to do a great job there. And you can only put so much pressure on somebody whenever you're rushing 4 or 5. I mean, it could be 5 on 5, could be 6 on 5, right? They're able to kind of chip away at one of the extra guys, but the guy who really stands out to me that has really made a massive impact the past 3 or 4 weeks, Thornton is kind of my guy there.
Well, we will watch him today on the UCF receivers. They have a strong running game. If Baylor could take that away from them, that would really be big. today. We'll be rejoined by Seth Russell here in just a few minutes on the Baylor Alumni Tailgate Show. When we come back, we will discover this week's charity champion as John Morris visits with Whitney Thomas of the Family Abuse Center. That is straight ahead from Touchdown Alley on the Baylor Alumni Tailgate Show, presented by Baylor Alumni, connecting the Baylor family worldwide. Back with more from Touchdown Alley right after this.
Enjoy exceptional service and care from Dr. Leanne Green.
Yes.
Dedicated.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Most experienced optical team in Waco. Don't miss the new state-of-the-art dry eye therapies that rejuvenate the eyes and face with safe, non-invasive treatments to restore comfort and quality of life. Green Eye Associates, official optometrist of Baylor Athletics.
Baylor Nation rolls along with Allen Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. Start with award-winning service and factory-trained techs. Really? Then shop our new and used lineup from cars, trucks to SUVs, all makes and models. Running a business. Central Texas headquarters for ProMaster vans, cab and chassis and work trucks. For power and comfort, test drive the Ram 1500, the Motor Trend Truck of the Year winner again. Allen Samuels in Waco, proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
Come by. Nobody up here but me, so...
Kids can now join the Baylor Cub Club, the official kids club of Baylor Athletics, presented by Green Eye Associates. Fans 12 and under can register for the low cost of $25 and gain exclusive benefits and access to Baylor Athletics events. Members receive free admission to select events, exclusive giveaway access, and their own membership package. To register your Cub, please visit BaylorBears.com/Cub Club. Sign your Cub up today.
TFNB Your Bank for Life is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and savings accounts to earn interest or cash back. With 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app, banking has never been easier. TFNB Your Bank for Life. Member FDIC.
You're listening to Baylor Football on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Welcome back as we continue on the Baylor Alumni Tailgate Show. Our honor and pleasure each week of Baylor home games to recognize this week's charity champion presented by TFNB Your Bank for Life, the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. And this week it is the Family Abuse Center. And joining us now is the Executive Director, Whitney Thomas, joins us. Whitney, first off, congratulations. What does this honor mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot to FAC. Being selected as a charity champion means that we're able to tell people about our mission in a different way than what we normally do, more in a positive light, bigger in the public eye, and just all the opportunity that comes with working with TFNB, Your Bank for Life, and being a charity champion.
Very good. Tell us about, I've heard the name. I know a little bit about your mission. Tell us more about what you do and who you serve.
So we serve victims of domestic violence in the Central Texas area primarily, but we can serve anyone from anywhere. So we offer emergency shelter. We offer non-residential services, which include legal advocacy, counseling, children's services. We even have housing programs, just anything sort of that anyone may need as they're walking through this journey. So we meet people where they are and walk alongside them so they can work towards a life free of violence.
Wow, good. And I think I'm safe in saying there's a real need for the service that you provide, isn't there?
Yes, absolutely. So some new numbers that we just received is that 161 lives were lost in 2024 due to intimate partner violence. And so, as you know, we always want to prevent that as much as we can. So in 2024, we served over 450 people, which is about over 12,000 bed nights, and we receive over 2,500 hotline calls each year.
Wow, man. Well, so as the charity champion, it's a nice spotlight on you and what you do, and there's so many other things that go along with it. Part of that is the platform. Tell people how they can get involved. Can they volunteer? Can they support you? What's the best way folks could support what you do?
So we always tell people, think about what do you do and what do you need in your daily life, and those are, if you want to donate items, those are things we always need. Cleaning supplies, personal hygiene items, paper towels, linen, linens for our beds. We provide all of that for anyone who comes. We want to make sure that anyone who comes, they don't need for anything. So we provide 3 meals, 3 snacks a day. But we also, as far as volunteering goes, we have children's group. You can serve meals. You can help with just things around shelter in general. And in order to do that, you can go to our website, familyabuseCenter.org, and apply and do the volunteer application there. And then someone will be in contact with you. And there's many different tasks that we always need to help and support with.
Very good. Well, again, congratulations. Great honor, great recognition for the work you're doing, and hopefully people will jump on board and support you. Congratulations in being named the charity champion this week.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
All right. Whitney Thomas is the executive director for the Family Abuse Center. Again, the website is familyabuseCenter.org, and that would get you to more information if you'd like to be a part and volunteer in the great work that they do here in Central Texas. Thanks to Whitney, and thanks to TFNB, your bank for life, the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. More of our pregame show after this here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Hey, Baylor fans.
All right, looks like about 3 minutes, Derek.
2025 football season can purchase.
Yeah, I'll start you at 90 and then a minute, and then from there.
Photos, sideline access during warm-ups, access during the team runout, an in-game radio booth experience with the voice of the Bears, a birthday bash, and much more. There is limited availability per game, so purchase your experience at bears.com/group experiences to lock in your one-of-a-kind game day experience today.
Favorite G.
Yeah, it timed out great.
I can make a sausage and I'm firing it up. Yeah, everybody knows that's how I get my grill on. You can smell that flavor up and down the road. It's a little taste of heaven, and everybody knows that's how I get my grill on. Kanaka sausage. It's just a little taste of heaven.
Do you ever scream at your screen when your 5G internet freezes? It's the worst. So why not switch to Astound? Wi-Fi that just works. With Astound Wi-Fi, you'll rage less, buffer less, and live more. Lock in gig speed Wi-Fi for just $35 a month, guaranteed for 3 years. Plus, get up to a $200 Amazon gift card. Astound Wi-Fi, it just works. Visit astound.com today.
If you're stuck in a high auto loan rate, it's time to call an Audible.
Hi, I'm Joe Betsy Tyler with First Central. When it comes to your auto loan, you don't have to stay in a bad formation. Call the right play. Refinance with First Central and get a lower rate, fast approvals, and a team that knows how to win local.
Visit firstcentralcu.com and apply today.
First Central Credit Union. Everything we do for you.
Membership and loan policy requirements apply. Member NCUA.
You're listening to Baylor Football on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Back here for our final segment in Touchdown Alley, the Baylor Alumni Tailgate Show. Today's game is brought to you by H-E-B, the official grocer of Baylor Athletics. H-E-B. Here, everything is better. Also brought to you by Premier ER and Urgent Care. It's the place to go when you're not sure where to go. Open 24/7. Just a short walk across campus. No appointment necessary. Just walk in. Visit premier.care to learn more. Derek Smith, Seth Russell here in Touchdown Alley. And Seth, as we get ready to send it to the network pregame, we've talked about some keys. What are 2 main keys for you that you say Baylor wins today if?
I think the most glaring one that has been a massive disappointment kind of leading up is turnovers, right? You got to stop turning the dang ball over. You know, and most of the time it's just self-inflicted, right? I mean, offense, I think that overshadows how this offense has actually worked this year. I mean, you look at Kansas State. I mean, moving the ball down the field, fumble, right? I mean, they just couldn't stop you, right? It's just self-inflicted wounds that I think has turned, you know, going from a 4-4 ball team to potentially an undefeated or even one-loss team, right? It's just turnovers. If you lose a turnover battle, you have a massive disadvantage to yourself, right? Just as a program, I think that the statistics are massive on you lose turnover battle, you have a high likelihood of losing the ball game. And it's kind of how it's worked out, right?
Yeah, that's been a struggle this year.
And so turnovers, if they can do that. On the flip side, you know, still under the first column is, you know, get some turnovers on defense, right? Get the ball back to the offense so that they don't feel like so much pressure to have to score every time. And I think number 2, and I think they're trying to put a lot of emphasis and pressure on it, right? And it doesn't have to be as hard as it's set, as it feels. It's just score, move the ball down the field and just get points on the board, right? Don't feel like you have to get it all in one play. Just stick to your guns, right? Stick to the things that you do well, right? Is getting the ball in the playmaker's hands, right? Taking a lot of pressure off of Sawyer. The whole saying of start fast, which that can be taken and perceived in so many different ways. Don't take too much pressure, but just start fast, do what you do best. They're going to throw some different looks at you. Adjust to it and adjust quickly, right? I think that's those I think just initially those are going to be the 2 big keys, and then obviously with UCF and their run
90
game,
seconds.
Their run game is really, really good, right? And our run stopping has not been very good. So maybe changing some defensive looks up front because it hasn't really been working for us. I know they're trying to, I know Randa's kind of giving those 2 high looks and they're rolling a lot of guys but just go ahead and get those guys in the box, right? Force them to go to a side of the offense that they don't really enjoy doing. They haven't done really well. They've done it more out of a necessity, which is pass throwing the ball. Stop the run, make them one-dimensional, and I think that's where we can really take advantage on the to win the ball game.
You mentioned start fast. Baylor hasn't done that. UCF's only allowed 7 points in the first quarter all season. Quickly said, there's a part of me that wonders, though, sometimes you see stats like that and it plays out differently. And for Baylor, I think if you do score early, maybe you just take a deep breath and things are easier.
Yeah, you look at the teams they played. Those teams they played aren't high-scoring offenses, right? They think, Cincinnati. They obviously you could argue from last week or what they did, but I think Kansas State, Kansas, seconds. Right? They're more kind of involving, but obviously stick to the offense, get the ball down the field. Just get something on the board just to kind of create some momentum.
Build some energy, and we'll see what happens. Seth, happy homecoming to you. Always good to talk to you. He's Seth Russell. I'm Derek Smith. The voice of the Bears, John Morris, is in the booth. Our producer is Aaron Sexton, and we are going to send it to Connect the Sausage Countdown to kick off straight ahead here on this homecoming Saturday. Baylor and UCF coming up on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Look who decided to show up.
Hey, thank you, Aaron. We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Derek.
Green, alongside her dedicated optometrist and staff. Receive trustworthy insights on your eye health. Enjoy the impressive variety of contacts and eyewear, and work with the most experienced optical team in Waco. Don't miss the new state-of-the-art dry eye therapies that rejuvenate the eyes and face with safe, non-invasive treatments to restore comfort and quality of life. Green Eye Associates, official optometrist of Baylor Athletics.
TFNB, your bank for life, is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics.
Testing.
Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and